On this occasion we're about 2 miles from Clonmel, on the Care Road from Clonmel, in St. Patrick's Well. And we're here with Davy Flannery, who is the guardian of the well, if that's his title. And Davy is the man to ask as far as the history and so on goes of the well. The well behind us, or this part of the well, Davy, what was the significance of that that's rounded off?
Well, the rounded off portion there that we're looking at, that's the original well. Even though the whole place here, Sean, was full of springs, this is the original well. Now, basically, all this area of the country, you have limestone underneath. So when you get limestone, you get caves or caverns under those. And these caverns are full of water. They're called aquifers. So water is coming up through the limestone. It's temperature and purified naturally as it comes up. But this well behind us here was formed about between 8 and 10,000 years ago.
8 and 10,000?
Yeah.
Which leads us to the, I know the well was here, but when did this come into being that they called it St. Patrick's Well? Was St. Patrick actually here?
St. Patrick was here on the 5th century. To understand about this well, you need to go back to pre-Christian times. This was a very important site in pre-Christian times.
Yeah.
People had been coming here for 6,000 years before our Lord came on earth.
Of course, this big expanse of water, there's just wells springing up all over that, and it's not just a tiny well like the rest of them.
It's a very big well.
And the stone in the middle of the island.
Well, I'd like to tell you about St. Patrick coming here. As I said already, this was one of the single biggest assembly places in Ireland. That I already mentioned, you didn't have towns or cities except for two. The two towns back then was Tara and County Meath, which was the capital of Ireland, which is northwest of where Dublin is now. You must remember Dublin wasn't in existence in the 5th century. And equally important was Cashel, which is only 10 miles from here, which was the capital of Munster. And the High King of Ireland resided at Tara, and the King of Munster resided at Cashel. Now, when Patrick came to Ireland in 432, he began his mission of preaching by stepping in Tara, where the High King of Ireland, where he preached Christianity to the High King of Ireland. The country wasn't divided into counties then, so he went across the country to a place by the name of Knockcrahan, or Crahan Hill in the present county of Roscommon. And from there he came south to Cashel, which was the residence of the King of Munster. The king at the time was a man by the name of Angus. So Patrick preached, converted and baptised the king in Cashel. Now Cashel is exactly 10 miles from here. So when Patrick had the king in Cashel converted to Christianity, this was the obvious place for Patrick to come in, well, this was where the big assembly of people was. Patrick came here in the year 447 and he converted the local chieftain first and then got his permission to have the people here at the well converted. We're told he spent about 2 years here converting and preaching and baptising. So when he had these people here converted to Christianity, the Celtic cross that you see over there in the centre of the present pool, that cross was erected there then. So this is one of the earliest Christian settlements in the country here.
So that cross is there 1,600 years?
It's almost 1,600 years.
And the church, the building beside us here, when does that date from?
The church came nearly 1,000 years after St. Patrick's. St. Patrick was here in the middle of the 5th century. The church was built by Cistercian monks in the early 15th century, roughly between 1418 and 1420. Cistercian monks came to Ireland from France in 1140, and the first abbey they built here was just beside us in what we call Marlafield now, which the name of the abbey was Inishlaunocht. And it was the biggest abbey in Ireland. They owned over 20,000 acres of land and they had over 1,000 people in the monastery and religion.
The monks did that?
The monks did, So back then this well was on their land. So monks from the abbey of Inishlaunocht built this church between 1418 and 1420. This church, well, you have the 4 walls standing now, but this church originally had a thatched roof. And the monks operated the church here from 1420 until 1650 when Clonmel was besieged by Cromwell, so we believe Cromwell finished his church or put
probably came down and did damage to it,
we are told he wasn't the roof of this church in 1650.
So we will go into the church now. There's couple of interesting pointers inside in the church that Davy will tell us about.